Sorry about that. Yes, I did forget to hit that. Okay, so let me restart my introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third chapter of LA Noire. We're going to be continuing with the homicide desk today. And we didn't get as far into the homicide desk this time as I would have liked. Part of the reason is because I simply forgot that my copy of the game came with that extra pre-order bonus mission in the traffic desk.
Galloway.
Also, there may or may not be some more street crimes that I'll have to do because those are triggered by completing certain other missions.
What have we got?
And there's 6 missions in all.
White female dumped in plain sight in the grass at the end of Hill Street. Hacks are all over it. Captain's trying to fend them off.
That sounds awfully similar.
The first rule of police work is make no assumptions until you've seen the evidence. Skipper wants you to have your newspaper face on, college boy. I think I know the place where they found the lady. It overlooks Sunset Boulevard. Let's go.
I will occasionally be pausing the game to check my notes from previous playthroughs, just like last time. And even with notes, I sometimes still get things wrong, either by accidentally hitting the wrong key or just forgetting all the pieces of evidence. So that's a possibility. But I'm trying to keep it as close to 5-star solutions all the way through as I can.
You did a decent job on the Henry case, Phelps. Not bad for your first time at bat.
Thanks, Rusty.
Don't go getting ahead of yourself. That's one clearance under your belt. Now it's a new day with a new dead lady that needs our attention.
No assumptions until we see the evidence, right?
Right. See, I knew you were a fast learner, Phelps. You might get along after all.
Also, as a quick note before we get to the actual scene of the case, I think I pegged what he is about Captain O'Donnelly's behavior that got to me so much. It was his willingness to ignore the evidence to get a conviction, because the guy that stomped that lady to death was wearing size 8 shoes, and the guy he wanted to arrest for the crime was wearing size 11 shoes. I tell you from experience, no one wears shoes 3 sizes too small unless they want some serious foot pain.
Now, boys, you know as much as I do. I'll be holding a press conference once the autopsy's been completed. I have 2 of my finest investigators on the case, fresh from bringing down the sword of justice on the crazed sex...
Captain, aren't there similarities between this murder and the murder of Celine Henry? And of Elizabeth Short, for that matter?
So you don't believe there's a crazed sex killer at large preying on women?
Boys, be sensible. We have the greatest police force in all the world with the greatest scientific investigators at our disposal. How can any killer continue to be that? Be advised. We keep the gas chamber at San Quentin primed for the sons of Cain who continue to believe they can take the life of the city of angels.
Yeah, right. Any new leads in the Dahlia case?
Run along, boys, and let these officers get to work. We have God's work to do here, and it can't be delayed.
What do we have, Captain?
Another woman sacrificed. Speak to Carruthers. I want daily reports, gentlemen.
This is awful. Awful. Why can't we get any closer?
Detective, I was first on scene.
You find her, Gonzalez?
Not me. The family out for a stroll. I was first reporting.
Can you show me the body?
It's under the pepper tree, this way.
By the way, graphic warning, this one is just as naked as the last one.
Can't be much help to you, Phelps.
Here she is.
The stomping angle in the Henry case, was it reported in the press?
Sure was. Every detail a copycat would want was there in the story.
Thankfully, you can hit the clues in any order you'd like.
Well, we have a name. Can you run Deirdre Muller by RNI?
Back in a second.
If the motive was robbery, why not take the money? Look at your mark. It's very
Distinctive. I'll do some comparisons back at the lab and get back to you.
Looks like she was tied up.
It does at first, but that would leave a mark on her other wrist, too. I think her watch might have been torn off.
What's this mark? A cut on a finger.
Fourth finger, left hand, a wedding or engagement ring, violently removed.
Detectives.
Similar MO.
To what? The Dahlia? I don't think so.
Celine Henry.
That's a closed case. This is probably another sad sack who lost his temper with a broad he wouldn't put out.
Are you a suspect, Rusty?
Watch your mouth, Phelps. All I'm saying is we got enough to do without reopening closed cases.
Talk me through it, Mal.
Severely battered, on display. Footprints would indicate that she has been stomped. Size of the footprints would seem to indicate a smallish men's shoe. What size shoe did Mendez wear?
You finished?
No, I'm not. At a glance, I would say strangulation was the cause of death. I'll need to do further tests for semen.
Angry boyfriend. If they were married, they'd be at home. Not humping out here in Lover's Lane.
Detectives. RNI says that Deirdre Muller of 130 North Bonnie Bray was reported missing this morning by her husband, Hugo Muller.
What'd I tell you? Just grab the husband, take him downtown, and work him over. We could have this wrapped up by lunchtime.
What about not making assumptions and going on the evidence?
Hey, what's going on?
Reminds you a great job awaits you in the United States Army.
And Rusty, I think, is a good cop. He's just seen way too much. So he's in a hurry to close his cases and go hit the
might
bottle.
be some playing the boyfriend.
I thought we were on our way to lock up the husband.
If he doesn't work out, that is.
Deirdre Muller has suffered enough. More than enough. You shouldn't make disparaging comments about her without even the slightest inkling of what she was like.
She was a woman, wasn't she? No, around about my third divorce, I realized women might not be the pure angels we imagine. You're married, ain't you, Phelps?
Don't make any insinuations about my wife.
Hey, she's a woman.
She's the mother of my children.
You're a father, Cole? But don't tell me your eye don't bend.
This conversation is over.
And off we go to the Muller residence. her murderer took her a long way from home. And before I go in, I'm going to pause it to check my notes. Be right back.
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. Is your father home?
He'll be home soon. He's been out looking for Mommy.
What's your name, miss?
Michelle Eloise Mahler?
Can we come in?
I suppose so.
Thank you. Could you have a seat for me, Michelle? We're going to have a look around.
By which he means I'm going to have a look around.
He'll be back in. Sit down.
My partner will explain everything when he gets back, okay? Nothing to worry about.
Probably nothing. Brookwoods, size 8. Elgin wristwatch. Probably the same one snatched from her body. No sign of a wedding ring.
With the way the captain behaves, those size 8 shoes would be enough to convict him.
Is this about Mommy? Daddy is trying to find her. Please tell me she's okay.
I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Michelle, but your mother is dead. Do you think you could answer a few questions for us?
Try.
Some of your mother's jewelry was missing. Can you describe her things?
A ring, a watch. I never paid much attention to that stuff.
I know it's painful, Michelle.
That was the truth.
This may be important. She wore a wedding ring?
Mommy chose it herself. A rose gold wedding band and a matching diamond and ruby engagement ring.
She wore a watch?
Yes, a yellow gold Elgin watch. Daddy bought it for her birthday. We had a fight. It was kind of a makeup present.
Your mom and dad are happily married?
What are you saying? Of course they are.
They weren't happy, were they, Michelle? Did your father ever hit your mother?
Just the once. She said she would leave him if he ever did it again. He bought her a brooch pin to make up for it. And he always wore her golden butterfly.
Hence the name of the case.
When did you last see your mother?
Yesterday afternoon, I went to a dance at Belmont High. Mommy was supposed to pick me up, but she didn't show.
So what did you do then?
I was upset. Daddy came instead.
So you were hanging around the school for quite a while. What happened with your father?
I don't know. I called and finally he answered. He came straight away then.
Thanks, Miss Muller. You've been very brave.
Hey! What gives?
Daddy, the police
Go to your
are
room,
here.
please, Michelle. I'll talk to the police.
Daddy, Mommy is gone.
Go to your room, young lady. She's not even out of school. You can't come in here interrogating her like she's
Your
some
wife
kind
was
of...
found murdered this morning.
Found? What? But she only...
We have some questions that we would like to ask you.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I'll do my best.
What size shoe do you wear, Mr. Muller?
Why do you ask?
It's routine, sir. Simple process of elimination.
9s, I think.
Why are you lying to me, Mr. Muller?
Why would I lie to you at a time like this?
And of course, because he was...
That's funny. The work boots we found here are size 8s. Why lie about it if you've got nothing to hide?
Because I always get teased about the size of my feet. You know, small feet, small...
Always been true in my experience.
You phoned in a missing persons report this morning?
Yeah, that's right. My wife didn't come home last night. She left around 9:30. Michelle was out at dance. She called me to let me know that Deidre didn't turn up.
Did your wife ever go out by herself? To bars, nightclubs?
No. What are you suggesting? You suggesting my wife's loose? Now is not the time for you to be pushing me, mister.
Your daughter said you were having an argument.
We argued about who would pick up Michelle. I worked a full day. I wanted to come home, put my feet up.
So you were here all night. You stayed in while your wife went out to pick up your daughter?
Yes, that's correct.
And yet, he's lying.
You should come clean if you're having an affair, or if there's something going on.
I told you I was here. Were you saying I wasn't?
So why did you take so long to answer the phone when your daughter called?
Okay, I went out for a while. I was driving around. It's my way of relaxing.
Your wife was beaten and then strangled. In your case, you have no alibi and a history of violence towards your wife.
That's not true, god damn it.
And another lie.
It is true, Hugo. You're a violent man. You try to keep a lid on it at home, but sometimes you lost control. Your daughter and your wife were scared of you.
You don't know anything about me.
I know about the golden butterfly, Hugo, and how you bought your wife off the last time you heard her.
She liked to spend money, all right? Dresses, jewelry, her hair. It drove me goddamn crazy. Do I look like a Rockefeller?
Nobody likes a cheapskate, Hugo.
Getting hostile with us is a very bad idea, Hugo.
I'm no murderer.
Make some arrangements for your daughter, and then present yourself to Central Station for questioning.
You gotta be kidding me, Phelps. Put the cuffs on him.
This is an outrage. I didn't kill my wife.
Your daughter is in the next room, Muller, so I'm giving you a break. Don't make me change my mind, and don't make me come looking for you.
We should go back in there and bust his ass.
1, we need to break his alibi, check phone records, canvass the neighbors. 2, we have motive of domestic violence, which probably goes for half the men in LA. 3, we have no evidence tying him to the crime scene.
Hello, detective.
Yes, ma'am.
I heard the terrible news over the radio.
And you can help us with our inquiries?
Yes, sir. They had a row last night. I heard Mrs. Muller screaming.
Did you see Mrs. Muller come home late last night at all?
No, not at all. I did see Mr. Muller put something in the incinerator earlier this morning, though.
I told you he was our guy. Now let's get this bum downtown and into a cell.
Look, there he is now.
Step away from the incinerator. Don't let him get away. This doesn't look good, Hugo. Get him booked in at Central, officer. Then put him in an interview room. We'll be speaking with him later. And inform the captain.
Yes, sir, detective.
Is there someone you can call, miss?
I don't want home and
You need somewhere to stay, Michelle. You have other family? Grandparents? Aunts or uncle?
call Aunt Helen, but she lives in Bakersfield and
Call her. We're gonna get someone down here from Juvenile Hall to talk to you in the meantime.
We ought to get some uniforms down here, clean up, take care of the kid. Galloway, homicide division. Badge number 5.
Phelps, 1247.
Go ahead, detective unit.
We can raid Baker and identify.
How can I help, detective?
I need an address on a Belmont High School.
Send someone down.
Checking for you, detective.
For a young lady.
Roger, 11K.
Belmont High, 1575 West 2nd Street.
Thank you.
Well, it's starting to look increasingly like he did it, isn't it?
That the coroner has a report waiting at the police morgue downtown when he's available.
Got it, KGPL.
And we are going to go to the Central Morgue. I'm trying to figure out where the map is. Give me a second. Oh. Yeah, I see. There, well, you can do it this way too. When you're on foot, you can get the map directly by pressing M. Okay, so turn around, go south to Beverly, go across. Okay.
I'm confessing that I love you.
just go this way. It's not that hard.
I'm surprised, you know. I didn't make the husband for it.
Always make the husband, Phelps. 9 times out of 10, it's the closest person to the Vic who does the deed. God knows I've wanted to kill some wives in my day.
Lex parsimoniae.
What?
The law of parsimony. Occam's razor. The simplest explanation is most likely the correct one.
You know, you could have said that without getting all liturgical on me.
I'll try to dumb things down from now on.
Appreciate it. And try this one on for size. Rusty's razor.
How's that go?
You blame the guy that's banging her.
Ah, of course. The famous Lex ignoramus.
Closes cases, Cole. Puts a lot of people away, that one.
Any Central unit, a possible 288 at Belmont High School, 1575 West 2nd Street. Stand by for further unit to handle. Identify code 2.
11K to KGBL. We'll take the 288. Go ahead with the further.
Yeah, but not yet. I wish there was a key to turn off the in-car radio music. Because that's what's most likely to get me dinged. Going in through the night entrance, despite being broad daylight.
Phelps, Rusty, thanks for coming.
Can you blood type the shoes that we bagged and see if they're a match?
Sure. It'll all be in the report, but I'm assuming you want the details now?
Please. Cause of death is strangulation?
Correct. Take a look at the samples on the bench.
What are the normal uses for that kind of rope?
On boats, mooring lines.
Correct. Although Ray says that they're sometimes used as bell ropes in churches.
Obviously, none of these are it, except for that bottom.
So are we looking for a sailor or a minister?
Well, in my experience, sailors seem to have the greater libido.
Was Mrs. Muller criminally attacked?
No external or internal traces of semen.
Thanks, Mal. Anything else comes up, you let us know. We've got to nail this guy.
No, and also...
The shoe prints?
Size 8s. Very similar to the impressions from the Henry case.
Now, who do we remember got caught in bloody size 8s? I think we have our bird. Okay, if you're finished jawing, we need to get moving.
And now off to the crime scene, which is actually only a block or two away. If I can remember that you get in the car by pressing E.
Car 11K, Car 11 King, come in.
11K, go ahead.
11K, see the janitor. A green 1946 coupe registered to a Mrs. Hugo Moeller has been found in the parking lot adjoining the Belmont High School and playing fields. 11K, code 2.
11K en route. Step on it.
But we still have to set the location.
She promised to meet me by the silver moon. She was meeting that stranger by the cactus dune.
Not exactly the happiest of places, the coroner's office.
Carruthers is a good man, professional, diligent. If you're working with a pro, it's easy to overlook the grim realities of a place like that.
Funny job, that, coroners.
How so?
No, you don't want them enjoying their work too much. The wrong kind of man can get awfully lonely rattling around a joint full of corpses.
Rusty, that's like something out of the pulps.
Been reading the same ones as me?
I thought you were usually too drunk to get through a magazine.
You know, if I close one eye and squint, you can just about make out the print.
We are now to National News here on KTR.
20,000 pounds of highly dangerous metallic sodium head for destruction in Lake Lenore, Washington. The government surplus chemical ignites and explodes when wet. The alkali lake is devoid of fish and forms an admirable disposal spot. A 3,500-pound container of sodium hurtles into the lake and crashes through a foot of ice. As the water seeps in, smoke rises through a series of muffled explosions. The acrid clouds billow several thousand feet over the sea sides of the lake.
You know, I thought I remembered saying that the crime scene was a few blocks away, but no, it's halfway across
Public carrier will accept it
town.
for transportation to a purchaser. One after another, with varying effects, the containers go up with spectacular results as water and sodium meet. A once lethal war chemical becomes a peacetime pyrotechnic display.
KTR is a member of the American Century Broadcasting Network.
This is the car?
Yes, sir, Detective.
Have you looked it over?
Superficially. I was told to wait for you guys.
Thanks. We'll take it from here. What time did you see the person park the car?
Late last night, after school social, maybe 1 a.m. I've been keeping a good eye out lately. We've had problems with the child molester.
And this was the same man?
I don't know, sir. I mean, I'd like to say yes, but truth is, it was pretty dark.
All right. Tell me about this man you've been having trouble with.
He hangs near the playground, tries to befriend the children. He was around here last night before the dance.
Is he violent?
Yes, sir, I would say so, yes. Here's the son of a bitch now! Hey, you!
Go, Phelps. I'll take the car.
There he is.
What's your name?
Who's asking?
We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Name's Eli Rooney.
You've been in trouble with the law before, Eli?
Some.
What are you doing around here?
I like to keep an eye on the children.
Strictly paternal, is it, Eli?
Don't sass me, boy.
A woman was abducted here last night, Eli, and murdered.
And I would love to make you for that, you oaky motherfucker.
Well, I wouldn't know nothing about that. A woman, you say? I like 'em a little younger than that.
Turn out your pockets, Eli.
Now, why would I do that?
Because I'm about to break your fucking skull, Eli.
You're under arrest, Eli. You are in very deep trouble.
Why bother with the paperwork, Eli? I'm going to take out my gun, and I'm going to count to 5. Let's see how fast you can run now.
Hang on a goddamn minute. I found that thing in the parking lot.
Get some backup out here, Rusty. We need to get this one downtown and into a cell.
I'll tell them we got a kitty raper coming in. They can roll out the red carpet.
Rusty must have called him from the car, which I managed to tackle the guy before they even got there, so you can't say that Rusty wasn't doing his job. I just caught the guy too soon.
The overalls are stenciled HM. Muller is a mechanic. I wonder what Eli does for a living. Blood and skin samples. We better get Ray Pinker out here.
It's from a Chrysler. Could be important.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need interrogation set up at Central for both suspects being held in the Muller homicide case.
Certainly, Detective. I'll get in touch with the watch commander.
Thanks for your help.
Okay. And back in the car. And back to Central Police Station.
I say we make Rooney for this. I think we should lay it on him. He was near the car, he had her jewelry, the DA will love him for it.
Even if he didn't do it?
Who cares whether he did it? You have kids, Phelps? He needs to be taken permanently out of harm's way.
And we let Muller slide?
For a while. He gets a free pass for now.
I don't know about this. My gut says Muller. We caught him trying to destroy evidence in his backyard, and that was his car with the bloody tools in it.
I never said it wasn't Muller. Hell, he probably killed his wife, deprived that poor kid of a mother. But he's not in immediate danger to anyone else. Rooney's a threat to every kid at Belmont.
He's a peeper, Rusty. We can pick him up for something else.
Really want to run that risk?
May not be that good of an idea to cut across the traffic in front of me to make a left. Not when I'm the one driving. hate this. You wouldn't believe how often I've had to do this in this game, because I keep forgetting that that particular street dead ends.
Better not go soft on me in here, Phelps.
We'll work the evidence, Rusty. Let him do the rest. Are they ready?
Moeller's in 2 and the pervert's in 1. Get in there and get a conviction.
Boys, really come through this time, haven't you?
Captain, we were on our way to interview Eli Rooney.
Yes, Phelps, I know. This particular fiend is an old acquaintance. I have tried to reaffirm his belief in a wrathful and terrible God. Whichever way it goes, I'll be dealing personally with him.
And actually, you can skip interviewing the other guy entirely and just go straight to interviewing Mueller, which is he's over here. Or rather, you can skip Mueller and go straight to Rooney.
Here's where we stand, Hugo. Your next-door neighbor heard screaming coming from your house. You were burning your blood-stained shoes. You have no one who can confirm your whereabouts last night. Your daughter says you're a violent man. We have everything we need to send you to death row, and all you have to say for yourself is, I didn't do it.
I swear I didn't kill her. Give me that lie test, I can prove it.
Why did you burn your shoes, Hugo?
Because I knew you'd never believe me.
Believe what?
It's rabbit's blood. A guy at work brought him in and I helped him skin them.
We found your wife's car. Someone parked it at the school late last night. Do you have anything to say about that?
It wasn't me.
Where do you keep your work clothes?
I keep them at work in my locker.
That part's a lie, because we found them in the trunk.
Enough lies, Hugo. Your overalls put you at the scene of the crime last night.
My overalls are in the laundry of my house.
Green overalls, bloodstained, with the initials HM, found in the trunk of your wife's car.
They can't be mine.
Why, Hugo? Because if they were yours, they'd be in the incinerator too?
Do you know anything about ropes, Hugo?
As much as the next man. I was a scout. I learned some more in the Army.
You learned to strangle with the rope in the Army?
With rope, with my bare hands, but mainly with wire. I learned a lot of things in the Army, but I still didn't kill my wife.
For argument's sake, what type of rope would you use?
If I had to, I would use a triple braid. Less flex, easier to control.
And
Your
of
wife
course,
was
that's
beaten
exactly
with a
the kind of
tire
rope that
iron,
was
Hugo.
used.
An appropriate choice of tool for a mechanic.
I know nothing about any tire iron.
That's a lie.
You're lying, Hugo. You're gonna have to come clean on this.
You got no proof.
Sure I do. It's called a bloody tire iron.
Your wife drove a Chevrolet, Hugo. What make of car do you drive?
A Chrysler Airflow.
So I guess that explains why the tire iron that killed your wife came from a Chrysler.
But I'm not going to charge him. I'm going to leave the investigation and go talk to the other guy.
You look like you've had it rough.
see me asking for your sympathy, boy?
Well, when the captain said that he tried to confirm his belief in a wrathful God, yeah, the captain beat him. These days, that wouldn't pass.
What size boot do you wear, Eli?
Kind of like anything I can get my hands on. I'm wearing 11s.
You're maybe 5'5", 5'6" tops. And you wear size 11s? I don't think so, Eli.
That might be on the large side. Maybe 10s.
Maybe 8s.
Now that I come to think of it.
Why punish children with your iniquity, Eli?
Do you think I was never punished?
You must know what you're doing is evil.
Well, son, nobody's perfect.
You down on your luck, Eli?
I had worse. My family ate roadkill during the Dust Bowl.
But you have a job. A parolee has to have a job, correct?
I had me a job down in San Pedro. I'm looking for something new.
This place you worked have a name?
Hennessy Marine. You can't miss the place. Big yellow letters, HM out front.
They give you any workwear, Eli?
Sure. Green coverall. Dang thing was hot. Felt like I was back in the pen wearing it.
You ever tie up any of your victims, Eli?
It's not a nice thing to go calling them.
What would you call them?
I can't say. I learned a long time ago not to go talking about the things I like. Talking about it just seems to get people's dander up.
Answer the goddamn question, Rooney, before I brain you.
See what I mean? Short answer is yes.
You have any preference regarding rope, Eli?
I know a good rope from a bad rope, if that's what you mean. That's not what you mean, is it? Any old rope will do me fine.
A farm boy like you, Eli, must prefer Magay for roping. Am I right?
I prefer braid. You tie a hitch and braid, it stays tied.
And of course, again, triple braid.
You killed Mrs. Muller and stole her jewelry.
That ain't so. I ain't done nothing like that.
You have no job and nowhere to live by the smell of things. And you need money. You've been in trouble before, Eli. Who do you think a jury will believe?
I've been in trouble for other things, but I ain't never killed no one. I saw that car coming to the parking lot late last night. Man got changed there and put his coveralls in the trunk. I saw him drop the butterfly in the lamplight and he strolled out, cool as you like. And I went over and I picked it up.
Eli Rooney, I'm charging you with the first-degree murder of Deirdre Muller.
You want to put me back in the stir that badly, boy? You go ahead and try. I'll beat that rap. I ain't a killer.
Phelps, Galloway, congratulations are at hand. Drink, boys? I think you'll receive a commendation for this one, gentlemen. In the meantime, I'll speak to the DA about expediting the passage of the case. We need swift and merciless justice for poor Deirdre.
Wow, only $55 in vehicle damage, no injuries, no city damage. And here I thought I'd hit someone. 5 stars. Eli Rooney can expect a warm welcome from Captain Donnelly and the district attorney. Now another thing about this one is that you can actually charge Hugo Muller, and they'll charge Eli Rooney with something else and lock them both up. Turns out, neither one of them did it. Eli was telling the truth when he saw someone else do the deed, and that really is rabbit blood on the shoes, but we haven't received a callback from the coroner's office yet about whether or not that was human blood. We will in a future case. We'll hear a callback and he'll say, oh, by the way, that wasn't human blood. But for now, we don't know. Okay, quick reference to the notes, and then we are on to the next case. Coincidentally, that particular case is heavily based on the real-life murder of Dorothy Montgomery on May 3rd, 1947 in Los Angeles. And her case was connected to the Elizabeth Short case and the Jeannie French case. Jeannie French is the woman who the red lipstick murder was based on. Also, another fun fact, when you're at the crime scene, the man wearing the blue suit and the red and white tie and green pants is Dan Reichert from Game Informer, who was visiting the studio for a story during production. Anyway. Next case up is the silk stocking murder.
We captured 2 regular army. Lieutenant! Phelps, we've been over this. That sniper barely missed you back on the beach. Until the mission is over, there'll be no more saluting or signs of rank.
I'm in charge here, Medier!
Do you wish to interrogate the prisoners?
No, they're beat. Why they look so sullen?
You're wondering why we haven't killed them yet. There is no greater shame than being taken prisoner.
Get this, Golden Boy actually seems to know what he's doing.
See
that, boys? He slapped that Jap right upside the head.
It was merely to remind him of his place. His shame was the tone of voice that he used with a superior. I respect the Japanese, Corporal.
Respect, we're here to kill the sons of bitches.
Do you know why we are fighting the Japanese, Private?
With respect, sir, these bastards attacked Pearl Harbor.
And why did they attack Pearl, Private?
Because they hate the US of A and our way of life.
They attacked the US because we cut off their oil. What would we do if another country denied us the gas to run our cars?
Ah, Phelps. I was just discussing with Finbar here how well you were doing. Have a seat.
Yeah, my real name. And you can just forget all about it.
You boys have a new case. A poor Hispanic woman murdered near City Hall and left lying naked in an alleyway.
Another naked woman, sir?
Yes. We seem to have had quite a run of them since the Dahlia fiend first struck.
Phelps is politely trying to hint that he thinks the Mendez case is hoagie.
Well, young Phelps, you win some and you lose some in police work.
You're happy with the Mueller case, sir?
Over the moon, boys! The DA couldn't be more pleased with the evidence, the witness, and the lack of an alibi. Now, get out there and catch me another sinner.
You have the address?
It's It's the alley off Aliso between Los Angeles and Alameda.
You're kidding. The next one will be opposite Central Station.
Count yourself lucky, Phelps. Most guys would kill to land a case so close to their desk.
Yeah, it means they can pop in to hit the office supply of hooch whenever they need it.
You know, that ain't a bad idea. That is not a bad idea at all, Phelps.
By the sun, cooled by the freshest ocean breezes, a place of potential and prosperity. I'm Leyland Monroe, folks. Today, my company, Ocean Grove Developments, is offering you a chance to own a small
Commercial for Leyland Monroe's development company. That's a name you'll be hearing again later in the game, too.
800 square foot palaces on full half-acre blocks. Perfect for that.
Detectives, they're ready to start the show. I'll take you through.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Brothers, Pinker?
Cause of death is pretty apparent. We thought we'd best wait for you. When you're ready.
If she took a blow to the head like the others, she was probably unconscious when strangled.
May as well follow the trail.
Antonia, it's a start.
Okay, that's 3 clues out of like 6 or 7, actually.
Lacerations on the neck would indicate a great deal of force.
Only 21 years old. But why the library card? Did he want us to find it?
Another wedding ring torn from the finger. No skin under the fingernails.
And that bone is debrided.
Kiss the blood. BD. The evidence in the Mueller case was solid. I'm not convinced about Mendez.
The best way to get away with murder is to pin it on somebody else. I'll bet a month's salary this is a copycat.
Strangled, battered,
Yeah, we know the M.O. So does every jerk who kills his wife and girlfriend looking for a way out. I've spoken to Brown. He still believes the Dahlia perp has medical experience.
4 women, all murdered, all put on display, all with messages.
Mueller had no message. Look, Phelps, this is getting us nowhere.
Anything for us to go on, Mal?
Head injuries from contact with road, bruising from a small man's shoe, further blunt force trauma to the occipital region at the base of the skull. Could have been fatal, but clear signs of strangulation would seem to rule it out.
Lipstick appears to be a similar color to the other cases. I'll see if I can nail down a brand.
There's a lot of other stuff that hasn't been found yet. Problem is, it's scattered all over the scene. And I don't remember exactly where in the scene it is. Yeah, I seriously doubt that insect spray has anything to do with it. All of a sudden, I'm wishing I'd taken better notes about what's found where. That is an old toaster, actually. Come on, where is this stuff? I know it's here. Because it's still playing the investigation music. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find better clues about where this stuff is. Well, the blood leads up this way.
Proximity to the scene, plus the bloodstains. No way is this coincidence.
Yeah, kick the bucket, why don't you?
On it goes.
We kept the area pristine for you boys. Let's check it out.
Well, I'm sure that had nothing to do with it, but you will see that particular brand again later in the game.
House keys strung up like bait on a hook. You think he's trying to lead us somewhere? It's got to be a code or a cipher.
Mrs. A. Maldonado. Could it be Antonia Maldonado?
Clearly wants us to find these things. He's left them for us. Or he might just be getting more confident. Enameled and gold-plated. This was precious to her.
Trail points up.
Pulled from the finger and hung up here. What's the significance? Looks as though the killer was decorating with this. Son of a bitch wants her identified. Mrs. Antonia Maldonado, 712 North Hill Street, downtown.
And that concludes the investigation, finally. You have to follow that blood trail all the way to the end.
It was Mrs. Maldonado, right?
That's affirmative.
All right, so then there's a husband we should be looking for. Get him, we've closed the case.
Rusty's razor, of course. I don't want to question your tried and tested techniques, Detective Galloway. But doesn't the DA require sound casework before he'll close the book?
Not if he's got a confession. And, you know, there's ways of getting it.
I'm sure.
I'm sorry. Can I help you?
LAPD, ma'am. Detective Phelps and Galloway. Does Mrs. Maldonado live here?
Yes, she does. I'm Mrs. Barbara LaPente, the owner of this boarding house. Is there a problem?
I'm afraid so, ma'am. You mind if we come in? Is there somewhere we can discuss this?
Of course. Follow me through to the parlor. Wipe your feet as you come in, detectives. It's this way.
Mrs. Maldonado was found dead this morning.
Dead? Oh, no. She can't be.
I'm afraid she was murdered, ma'am. We need to take a look at her things.
I can't believe it. A person seems so alive, and then they're gone. Antonia's room is upstairs, last door on the left.
Thank you. We'll be back shortly.
Excuse us a moment, ma'am.
Yes, it is. Hello, Dyruger.
What are we waiting for?
I'm waiting for you to catch up to me and get up here.
You look at that? Someone's turned the place over.
Antonia, further to my previous correspondence, I am writing to inform you that your petition to the Superior Court of the State of California has been accepted and the court date scheduled.
Okay,
Your case will be heard on September 17th. I am told that your husband, Angel Christopher Maldonado, residing at 304-330 North Hill Street, has been served with the official papers and is on notice to appear at the Central District Court on the above date. Though it is not essential and many women in your position choose not to do so, I would advise you also to appear at the Central District Court on the scheduled date. In my experience, a woman plaintiff's presence in cases like this one can do much to influence proceedings, and if your husband does not appear on September 17th, which you have told me is likely, it can only help our chances. Yep, reminds me of a recent case I heard about where the defendants refused to participate in their own trial, and of course they were found guilty.
A smashed window explains why the place looks tossed.
You know how I feel about windows, Phelps.
How about you stay outside and turn left, you idiot?
So someone broke in using this thing instead of a crowbar. Wonder where it was taken from.
Let me check my notes again.
charm bracelet wasn't among the crime scene evidence. We have some questions, ma'am, if you're up to it.
Yes, Detective. I'll do my best.
Do you have any idea who might have wanted to hurt Mrs. Maldonado?
That rat of her husband, Angel. She was serving him divorce papers.
If I killed every wife that served me papers, I'd be a mass murderer.
Are you being flippant, young man?
No, ma'am.
What can you tell us about Angel Maldonado?
She married him when she was 17. He was cruel to her, very cruel. She was a good girl, little on the religious side, but a good girl.
What time did Antonia go out yesterday?
She left around 9.
Do you know where she went?
No, I've no idea. She was a good girl, but she didn't confide in me.
Yeah, but there's a doubt there. And look at her looking down.
A nosy old hag like you knows everything about the people who live under her roof. Where did she go?
I think she went to a bar. She's been drinking quite a lot lately.
This bar have a name?
El Dorado Bar. It's a Latino place on North Los Angeles Street.
That's only a couple of blocks from where we found the body.
You've had a break-in?
No! That can't be true.
It
Being
is.
economical with the truth, Mrs. Lepenti. What do you have to hide?
I have no idea what you are talking about.
Here you can use either the broken window or the iron picket. Either one will work.
So Antonia lost her keys and used an iron bar to jimmy the back window?
I heard a noise in the early hours of the morning. I thought it might be a raccoon at the milk bottles. It'd be very bad for business if this news got out. I have a reputation to protect.
Antonia and her husband were estranged?
Yes. She moved here after she separated from her husband 2 months ago.
But Antonia still wore a wedding ring?
She wore the wedding ring and a necklace. She always wore a religious necklace. That's about all of her jewelry.
What about her bracelet?
I don't know anything about a bracelet.
Obviously, the charm bracelet photograph is what you use here.
In her wedding photo, she's displaying a charm bracelet.
That thing? She never wore it. He gave it to her. She always kept it in that wooden jewelry box.
Thanks, ma'am. You've been very helpful.
Pay a call to that husband of hers. Lock him up and throw away the key.
We can either front Angel, seeing as the finger's pointing right at him, or we can check out the El Dorado.
What is the secret soap that the most lovely Hollywood stars use?
Well, we're going to go to his address first.
A nosy old hag? Ah! And I thought I was coming on strong with the ex-wife's line.
Sometimes you have to be firm to get the information you need.
God damn it, ain't that the truth?
How about we drop in on the husband instead? See if your gut is right.
I'll take a bar over a husband every day of the week.
Think there's anything to the divorce angle?
I've been through 3, but no big deal. After a while, you're just numb to some of the experience.
But Angel, he's a young Latino man. It would hurt his sense of who he is. He'd see himself as a failure, a woman taking control over his life.
Then she fronts him and he snaps. Works for me. That makes Angel a killer as well as a piece of shit.
Maldonado is in apartment 304.
What, not apartment 2?
Phelps, this could turn ugly. Forget about knocking. Let's take our boy by surprise.
Hey, what the fuck?
LAPD, motherfucker, you're under arrest. I got 100.
Now look, I don't want no trouble, see?
Stay back, or I'll have to put you down.
I got nothing to say to you.
Well, that's using your head.
Damn. They got some decent shots in there. Cuff these sons of bitches, Phelps.
LAPD, you two are under arrest. Call for some backup, Finbar.
Galloway, badge number 564. I need a prowl car at the apartment building 330 North Hill Street. 2 suspects need transporting to Central.
Your wife has been murdered, Angel.
Antonia? Oh, God, no!
Where were you last night, Angel?
I was here with my brother the whole night, goddammit! You think I'd kill my own wife?
We should get the whole place going over, then talk to the neighbors. And Phelps, I don't care that you just got smacked in the head. You don't call me Finbar.
Incidental.
Coincidentally, there's an achievement for finding all the cars in the game. It's called the Auto Fanatic achievement. There is a Mercury Custom out in the parking lot of the apartment building. If you don't get it now, you'll probably have to replay the case later. It is that rare. This is the only guaranteed time it'll even show up in the entire game. Just saying. Doesn't matter because I'm not going for achievements. I already got that achievement years ago.
Just picked fruit market. I wonder if Angel gets all his groceries from this place. This will take some explaining.
Maybe one of the neighbors took notice of Angel's movements. He's got no alibi. He's toast.
The El Dorado must be a family favorite.
And you do have to ask all the knock on all the neighbors' doors. On this floor, I mean.
What do you want?
LAPD. We're making some inquiries.
Make it quick. I work nights.
So you weren't home last night?
No, I was at work.
You know nothing about Mrs. Maldonado fighting with her husband?
Those two? They're always screaming the place down.
Thanks.
sorry about that. I'm playing with my kids.
LAPD, were you here last night?
Yeah. My wife and I are separated, and I had the kids last night. I put them to bed early and went to bed myself.
Thanks.
Hello?
LAPD, ma'am. Did you hear a disturbance last night?
Yes. Yes, I did. Mrs. Maldonado lit out of here, and her husband ran out after her.
You saw this, Miss?
Aranda. I had the door open a crack.
Did you see Mr. Maldonado come back inside after he ran out?
No. I didn't.
Thanks. We'll be in touch.
I kept thinking you were going to call that one a nosy old hag, too, Phelps. Well executed restraint.
I'm executing restraint right now, Finbar.
No good. There's nobody here. The hired help at the El Dorado might have seen the broad the night she died. Maybe the regulars, too. We should check it out.
I wonder if this is it. Yep, that's it.
Cigarettes made better. Bullseye smokes better than other leading brands. Satisfies the most.
Though I am going to get back in our car, which is right over here.
Car
11K, Car 11 King, come in.
KGPL, 11 King, over.
11K, Captain Donnelly and Detective Sergeant Finis Brown urgently request your presence at Central. A new letter has been found.
11K, en route.
Give me a second. I've got a meowing cat on my door.
You're welcome.
I usually don't let her in while I'm streaming, but Nix was being unusually persistent.
Strange that all these murders are happening to girls who've been out drinking?
No. A broad drinks, she gets a bit tight, she starts mouthing off. This leads to that, and she ends up in an alleyway. It's a sad story, but this town's seen it play out 1,000 times.
Why don't you want to see a connection here?
Because there are perfectly good real-life suspects for every one of these murders. We don't need to go looking for the monster under the bed.
I would argue that point.
Another letter? I thought the letter was from a nut.
These letters, Brown and Hanson believe they are genuine. From him.
What can I get you?
LAPD. Detectives Phelps and Galloway.
Diego Aguilar. How can I help?
You worked the bar last night?
Yeah. Me and a temp guy from the agency.
Did you have a woman in here last night? 21 years old, Hispanic, drinking heavily?
We have a lot of ladies like that in here. But yeah, I know who you mean. Antonia Maldonado. Oh, what did she do?
She was murdered last night.
Oh, shit.
Do you know her well? Was she a regular?
Hell no. She was good and tight last night, complaining about her old man. It's a story you get used to working in a bar. She was so hammered last night, she left a letter on the bar. I'll show you.
A waitress. I have another.
Whereas
Divorce
Antonio...
papers. Did you open them?
No need to. She was shouting about it and waving the letter around. Said she was going to show him.
Whereas Antonia Maldonado did, on the 8th day of August 1947, prefer her petition to the Superior Court of the State of California, praying for the cases therein set forth that she might be divorced from the bonds of matrimony entered into with you, Angel Maldonado. We do therefore command that Angel Maldonado, the said defendant, that setting aside all other business and excuses whatsoever, you be and appear in your proper person at the Central District Court of the Superior Court of the State of California on Wednesday the 17th of September 1947, next answer the petition of divorce from the bonds of matrimony on the grounds of cruelty brought by said Antonia Maldonado, and to show cause, if you have any, why said plaintiff Antonia Maldonado, your wife, should not be divorced from the bonds of matrimony. Witness, Honorable Earl Brantham, Judge of our said Court of California, the 11th day of the August, in the year of our Lord, 1947. And now we have to question him. Give me a second. Fortunately, there's only 2 questions.
That all you need from me?
Can you remember what jewelry she was wearing?
She had a necklace. Some kind of religious thing, I think. The temp guy would have more of an idea. She took the beer he served her and cried into it all night.
What time did she leave?
Can't say for sure.
Well, you can doubt that.
Where did she go? Give me something or the LAPD will start getting interested in this place.
Take it easy. She wanted a cab, okay? And my phone was out of order. The closest one I knew was at the fruit market across the street, so I suggested she try there. She seemed reluctant.
Did Antonia say where she was going when she left?
She said she was going to serve the papers on the husband. Said that would take the smile off his face. If you ask me, she was scared. And the drink was for Dutch courage.
That's the truth.
She attract any interest?
An extremely drunk young woman? What do you think? She managed to scare them off, though.
Thanks. You've been a big help.
No problem. Hey, get the guy, will you?
We'll do our best. One last question. What size shoe do you take, Mr. Aguilar?
A broad 9. I have wide feet.
Well, that rules him out.
Urgency.
Well, before we go anywhere else, we're going to the Central Police Station. Oh, look! A street crime. What a coincidence.
Unit to handle code 3 identify.
All right. Take care of yourself.
This is 11K. We'll handle the 415.
Yeah, once we find the 415.
11K, officer needs help. 415 shots fired. 313 Bunker Hill Avenue. 313 Bunker Hill Avenue. 11K, code 3.
Why don't you come on out, Jimmy? I won't let them hurt you. Not my honey boy.
I told you not to call me that, woman. Now shut the hell up!
You shut the hell up!
That the lady of the house?
It's a nice story. Two old lovebirds just moved in together. But they had a falling out. They chased her across the yard with a 12 gauge. Now it's...
Hit the bastard!
Officer down!
Give yourself up! Now!
You're a cop killer! Reinforcements are on the way. Cease and desist.
Well, that is true. Like in yesterday, it's like, oh, let me turn around and go the other direction. Okay, let's get back on course. Oh, let me turn around and go the other direction. 5 times in a row. Okay, Finbar, come on.
The captain is waiting for you downstairs with Pinker.
Now
could save all year not be able to
me at
afford
the
that.
grand jury. Case was thrown out. Not a day.
Boys, come on in. Phelps, have you met Finis Brown?
Pleased to meet you, sir.
His information is confidential and doesn't leave this room.
The new letter was left in the back seat of a cab. The driver thinks it was put through the window and not left by a customer.
We're checking all his fares back 24 hours regardless.
Good.
Like the previous letters, it's been assembled from headlines and typed from the Times and Examiner, then glued to an envelope.
What is the other note?
This one? That's also new. A poem, hand-typed.
Do you mind if I take a look?
Go ahead. We've been over both documents pretty carefully. They've been wiped with gasoline, so there's no chance of prints.
I've changed my mind. You would not give us fair deal.
Henry case. Heap upon thy soul by virtue of this curse.
I'm going to give you a second to read that because I'm not going to. I don't want to read a poem the wrong way.
That's why we called you in.
You think it's original?
Not unless he's a genius.
You like this nutjob's poem?
No, I like Shelley. It was written at least 100 years ago.
Shelley? Sure, I knew that.
No, you didn't.
You see, Finis? I told you this lad was a bright boy.
Sure, but what has it got to do with the case?
Prometheus Unbound. Prometheus was a titan, a superhuman character who defied the gods to bring fire to humanity.
The Dahlia guy believes he's Superman.
Your guess is as good as mine. One thing for sure is that he's educated. What about the link to the Henry case?
He could have got the wording from the papers. As you said, he is fiendishly clever and takes pleasure in taunting us. What's happening with the Maldonado case?
We have the husband in custody. We haven't interviewed him yet.
Well, upstairs then, lads, and see if we can break him.
And there is. Interview room 2, of course.
Improved your attitude, Angel?
What do you want me to say? I was with Antonia the night she died, but she left the apartment, and that was the last time I saw her.
So your wife paid you a visit last night. What time was that?
Late, around midnight, maybe. She didn't stay long.
That, unfortunately, is a lie. Look at the way he's folding his arms defensively.
You're lying, Angel. You went after her. I think you killed her.
You're out of your mind. My brother will tell you I was at home.
And in this case, the alibi, the testimony from the neighbor that talked to us.
We have a witness who confirms that you were arguing, that your wife ran out, that you followed her, and didn't come back.
I know this looks bad, but it's not true. We argued, all right, but she went out and I went out after her, and she jumped in a car on the corner.
There was a car waiting for her? Can you describe the driver?
Not the driver. It was too dark. But the car, it was a brown Ford coupe.
You and your wife weren't getting along. She was divorcing you. Is that why you killed her?
We fought, yeah, but we weren't getting a divorce.
Yes, you were.
I don't believe you, Angel. She'd been granted a decree nisi. She pushed you too far, and you lashed out.
I told you, I wouldn't accept a divorce.
The judge had set a date. You were going to be paraded in front of the whole city for your cruelty to her, Angel.
Antonia. Oh, Jesus. She came in drunk, out of her mind. She doesn't normally drink. She was looking around in her bag. Said she wanted to serve me papers. Me, her own husband. So I slapped her down. She ran out. That's the truth.
What size shoe do you wear, Angel?
Size 8. What difference does that make?
When we found your wife, her jewelry had been removed. Was she wearing her religious medallion last night?
Sure. She always wore that.
That's the truth.
What about the charm bracelet? Was she wearing that?
You know about that? She never wore it. She didn't like the message. She kept it locked up in that box of hers.
Your wife has been brutally murdered. So how do you explain your shirt being covered in blood?
You found that? I cut myself shaving.
Angel, I'm not going to waste any more time on this. Give me something or I'm going to have you charged.
My brother, Hippolito, he said some bad things about Antonia last night. So I had to sock him one. We got into it.
Keep talking.
She said she came from the El Dorado bar.
And?
It's not one of my places. We used to buy fruit at the market down the street. But the creep there was always running his eyes all over my wife.
What's the name of this fruit market?
Just picked fruit. Ord Street downtown.
One last question, Angel. Do the words kiss the blood mean anything to you?
No. Sounds sick to me.
You're not in the clear by any means, Angel. You're going back into a cell. You should think about whether you have anything else you need to share with us.
Okay, back outside, and finally onto the just-picked fruit market.
What's your read on Maldonado?
I still like him for it. Seriously, that line about the guy at the fruit market making eyes at his woman? We'll get to the market and the guy behind the counter will tell us he saw Angel drag his old lady off into the night. This case will be shut like all the others.
Yeah.
handbag was left just up there, overlooking the market.
By the way, don't you just love the prices on those apartments? 25 to 50 cents per night, $2.50 per week. And that's 3-room apartments. So 1 bedroom, bathroom, kitchen. Yep.
I got a call back for that universal chorus line.
Boy, I wish my rent was just, $10 a month.
LAPD, Detective Phelps and Galloway.
Clem Feeney, what can I do for you?
Did you happen to see a young woman last night? 21 years old, Hispanic?
Sure, she came by last night. Why do you ask?
Let me check my notes again. Quick pause here. We're coming up on the end of this one soon.
She was wearing a necklace?
I didn't notice.
You weren't paying attention, Feeney?
Hey, you're getting the wrong idea.
Exactly how much fruit do you sell here after midnight, Clem?
Look, not much. I sell the odd bottle on the side to the after-hours crowd. Look, I don't want any trouble. I'm just trying to make a buck.
The young lady arrived around midnight?
Yeah, something like that. Used the phone for a cab and then left.
Another doubt.
You already knew Mrs. Maldonado, didn't you, Clem?
Sure, I met her before. She seemed like a nice lady. Her husband went apeshit one day when he caught me talking to her. She had me back until last night.
I feel like Angel is more of a controlling husband. It wasn't so much cruelty as just controlling.
Where did she go from
here? Or insanely jealous.
She wanted a cab, but I couldn't get her one. I was about to offer to drive her, but a car pulled up and she got into that.
I'm going to make a educated guess here, Mary, and say that you're encountering some drift to one direction or another. Probably left.
Can you describe the car?
Brown Ford Coupe, I think. She seemed to know the guy.
Do you mind if we look around?
Why would you want to do that?
Because we say so.
I guess you can. Hey, don't you have to get a court order or something? I have rights.
Clem? Shh.
Huh. Okay. Well, the reason I suggested drift is because that does seem to be a common problem with the Switch Joy-Cons.
No wonder he stays open late at night. People have to get their vitamins. Check through this stuff before we get back out there.
So what are we hiding in here? This thing needs a combination. Cut someone who is already dead.
It's a typical power thing. Once the stiff is dead, the creep usually feels they can do whatever they like. Must have seen it. This fruit skull punk gets about 10 seconds to explain before I pull his fucking arms off.
Clem!
Well, that's good. Might have just been some sort of interference from something.
God damn it, get after him, Cole. I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck. We should have grabbed him when we had the chance, Phelps.
When we had the chance, we didn't know he was our guy. Strange that he'd leave a trail of blood right back to his own market.
Maybe he wanted to be caught. A lot of them do. Phelps, you gotta get me closer.
It's almost too perfect, isn't it?
There's no such thing as too perfect. Hit him. Clean this asshole off the road. Keep it steady and I'll try to bust his tires.
Oh, there went one of them.
You're a sick man, Clem. You need help.
Outstanding job on this case, gentlemen. The poor woman can now rest in peace. I'll pay the fiend a personal visit myself and remind him that crime in this city does not go unpunished.
Meaning you're gonna
When
beat
they
him.
finish with him at the receiving hospital, we'll have him up before the grand jury. I have a meeting this afternoon with the mayor, lads. I'll be sure to mention your names. Now, on your way.
Given the size of Clem's stash, it was a wonder you didn't catch him red-handed at the El Dorado. And that's about as close to a perfect case as you get. No vehicle damage, no injuries, no city damage. All clues found, all questions correct. 5 stars. Okay. Well, after that case, we are on to the next, which is... Oh, by the way, bit of trivia about that case. Clem Feeney, the guy at the fruit stand, was played by Brian Krause, who's known for his role as Leo Wyatt in the TV show Charmed. Anyway, the next case, once I let Nix out, is the, well, actually it could be either the White Shoe Slaying or Reefer Madness. I think it's the White Shoe Slaying, though.
Sarge, why are the guys giving it to the doggies? They're riding in trucks, numbskull, while you're marching.
They look pretty badly beat up.
Yeah, they do it then. Scuttlebutt says it's pretty hard going down south.
Well, we'll find out soon enough. Recon always leads.
How can we fail, Skip, with the Shadow leading the show?
Who the fuck is the Shadow?
Lieutenant Phelps, the Shadow of Death.
What the fuck are you talking about?
He's a quiet fucker, Sarge. Never hear the bastard coming.
You're sitting there, field stripping a cigarette, and suddenly he's there looking down on you.
Why do you think we keep saluting that Jap-loving son of a bitch? He's bad juju.
That's enough out of you three. Bad juju? Where were you dragged up? A swamp?
I was right.
Good morning, gentlemen, and what a grand morning it is, too. We have just cause for celebration. Galloway and Phelps are sending another fiend to San Quentin. A nice showy trial, and he'll be strapped down with gas seeping into his tiny reptile brain. Now, to fresh business. Galloway and Phelps, the task is at hand. The address is on the hill, north downtown off Fremont Avenue.
Skipper, is the new letter genuine?
Now, boys, we all know how many imbeciles have confessed in a short case. Pete Pinker will let us know.
A fine morning indeed. We keep locking them up, but the bodies keep piling up.
Yeah, Californians love a fad, Phelps. As long as the bricks hold up at San Quentin, there'll always be killers in this town to send.
Greetings from sunny California. When's it gonna stop? First the letter, and now another body. Come on, you can't keep on telling me there's not a killer still out there.
You know, Phelps, all these arrests on your record are giving you a reputation. You don't want them turning into unsolved.
Getting a vicious killer off the streets is more important than my reputation.
Really?
And besides, landing a big fat marlin is more impressive than an ocean full of minnows.
The minnows make it the man, Phelps. You can't always hit home runs. Sometimes you just gotta make first base. That guy there will lead us up.
I'm steeling myself for what I'm about to see.
That'll just be another dead body, partner. Get used to seeing them. You're the gig when you work in homicide, Phelps.
Detectives?
Phelps and Galloway, homicide.
Scene is secure. The rest of the patrolmen are going door to door, canvassing for witnesses.
Thanks. Keep me informed.
Will do, Detective.
This looks awfully familiar.
I think that's the impression the boys from the Examiner took with them as well.
There's nothing original under the sun. Why should murder be any different?
What do we have so far?
Not much trace evidence to speak of. Storm blew in around 10 last night, and the rain washed most of it away.
And the body?
Looks like she was tipped out of an automobile from the tire tracks and superficial injuries. Strangled with a length of rope. And for my money, it's triple braid again.
Time of death?
From her temperature, maybe 2 a.m., but it was cold last night.
Usual head injuries.
Blunt force trauma. Knock him over the head, then strangle and mutilate. No message with this one.
At least she was left clothed.
I doubt very much he was concerned with her dignity.
The green silk dress is very distinctive. Any sign of her other shoe?
No. And no handbag or other personal effects.
No drag marks. The killer was moving around, surveying the scene. Nothing significant.
But once again, his motivation wasn't money. And yeah, 1947, possibly dipping into 1948.
It appears to be a dry cleaning label. Superior Laundry Services, F1363.
Well, the apartments that I was talking about were $2.50 a week, so...
Our driver and our killer are most likely one and the same.
Be right back. Bio break. Yeah, if my apartment was that cheap, I'd definitely take it. I doubt that's bills paid, but in 1947... Okay, I've found all 3 clues here. The only thing now is to... go on.
Detectives, I've been working the houses across the street and up the block. This lady thinks she has something for us.
Detective Phelps, LAPD.
I'm Mrs. Barton, Catherine Barton. I live just across the way.
Did you see anyone around here last night?
Not last night, but yesterday, early evening, I saw that awful hobo.
Do you have a description?
Tall, gaunt, horribly disfigured. I think he may have had an accident in the war. He's a very scary, angry man.
Any idea where we might find him?
One of the hobo camps around here. He's some kind of hobo leader. They all follow him around.
Thank you, ma'am. You've been a big help.
Of course. Anything I can do to help. I'd hate to think that something so ghastly could happen right here and nothing be done about it.
And before I go too far, I am going to use that game well, but...
Now, national news. Officially opening the nationwide March of Dimes campaign in Washington, Mrs. Truman and her daughter Margaret take part in the ceremonies at the Capitol by dropping theirs and the president's dime.
Great. How are we gonna look getting around in this thing, Cole?
Epidemic.
Well, yeah, there is the fact that you've got a much higher salary these days.
Women's Glory of Louisville, Kentucky. The District of Columbia.
I is a member of the American.
This is basically what you got to do to mark those 95 cars off your list, is basically just get into everything parked. Thankfully, nobody locks their doors, and everybody leaves their keys in the car, apparently. After making him get in and out of all those cars? Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Phelps, 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an address on Superior Laundry Services.
Just a moment. Superior Laundry Services, 1260 West 1st Street.
Can you track down reports of hobo camps in the vicinity of Signal Hill?
Just a moment, Detective. There's a large camp under the bridge on Grand between Temple and Sunset.
Thanks.
Now, where was our car parked? That's what I'd like to know. The problem is, when you get into another car, is that it marks that one as your current car. So if you're not paying attention, you can lose track of where your car was. Oh, there's a... No, that's the corner's car. Thanks. Now I'm pretty sure that one was ours. Nope, no siren, therefore not ours. Okay. Also,
No message.
Excuse me?
There was no message.
Where?
On the Vic. The last bodies had something written on it. This one didn't.
I'm failing to follow.
Can't be the same guy is what I'm saying, right? Before you start trying to link this to Maldonado and all the others.
There are more factors to consider than the messages, Rusty.
This doesn't fit your pattern, Cole. End of conversation. Understand? least the rain stopped. You can change back into those white bucks now.
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. We're investigating a case, and one of your laundry labels came up. F1363.
If you give me a minute, I'll go find a register and you can take a look. You take a look for yourself. I've got clothes that need pressing.
You wrote the number down on that dress, is it there?
Mrs. T. Terrellson, one green silk dress.
Mrs. T. Terrellson, 43 Emerald Street, Westlake.
I've got a feeling we're about to meet another wife killer.
You've always got that feeling, Rusty.
Yeah, and it's usually correct.
Please, for once, can you not let your assumptions color your detective work?
Just you wait. The Nordic type show a particular disposition for this stuff.
Hello? Yes?
Detectives Phelps and Galloway. Is your wife home, sir?
My wife went out last night and she hasn't come home.
Can you describe your wife and what she was wearing?
We were out at a friend's place, Bobby Ross's, for a party. She was kind of dolled up. She had her green silk dress, open-toed white shoes. Those are her favorite shoes.
Can we come in, Mr. Terrellson? I'm afraid we have some rather bad news. Do you have someone who can look after your children, Mr. Terrellson?
I've been trying to arrange a sitter. Look, tell me what's happened.
I'm afraid your wife was murdered last night. Her body was found this morning. We're very sorry for your loss. I know this is a difficult time, Mr. Terrellson, but we are going to need you to answer some questions. First, we're going to take a look around.
What for? You don't think
it's procedure. You see to your girls.
Stay here till Daddy's finished talking to these men.
Where's Mommy?
Everything's gonna be all right, sweetheart.
We would like Mommy to come home now, Daddy.
What's the problem, Terrellson? Let him search. You got nothing to hide. You want to hear something funny, Terrellson? Some bumps think filling out a missing persons report actually.
Need to check if she was a regular. I wonder why the picture was turned down. If you'd excuse me, ladies. she went out without her handbag? She'd have to be in quite a state to leave this behind. At least she was spared that particular indignity. We can see if Pinker can match the impression to the crime scene. Lars was out in the rain last night.
1 second before I interview him, let me check my notes real quick. Also, there's one more clue that I need to check.
Looks like a match with the ligature marks.
Not looking good for this guy either, is it? He's got shoes that match the size worn at the crime scenes. He's got a rope that matches the one used to strangle the women.
I'll be out of your way momentarily, ladies.
Junk.
No, wait.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Can you run an address for a Bobby Ross? Then send some uniforms over.
Would you like him picked up?
No. Suspect says he was with Ross last night. We need to confirm the alibi.
I'll get a prowl car dispatched.
Thanks, ma'am. For the record, Mr. Terrelson, what is your wife's name?
Teresa.
Do you have any idea why anyone would want to hurt your wife?
No. Everyone loved Teresa. She was so full of life. It can't be anyone who knew her.
And yet...
I think you're lying, Lars. I think you were mad at your wife for embarrassing you in front of your friends. I think you came back here and strangled her and then dumped her body on the hill.
You think I strangled my wife? How do you expect to prove that?
Your wife was strangled with triple braid rope. The bow line from your boat is a perfect match.
Look, I know this looks bad. I'm gonna have to come to terms with the fact that I let her go.
You said you went to a party at Bobby Ross's place?
That's right, Bobby had a bunch of people over. We were having a good time. She said she was bored and decided to leave.
You let your drunk wife leave the party and go off on her own?
Look, I was angry. I was having a good time. She has to go and ruin it. We always have to do what she wants to do. Last night she wanted to go dancing.
Any idea where?
Where she always goes. A bar down on North Beaudry Avenue. Barron's Bar. She goes there, drinks too much, gets maudlin, and calls me. I go and bring her home.
Mr. Terrelson, was Teresa happy at home?
Yeah, I think she was.
And yet I doubt that.
Spill it, Terrelson. We like the look of you for this, so you better give us something.
We're at the party. She has a few and says she wants to go out dancing. We only have the sitter until 9. I get mad. I tell her to go ahead, but I'm staying. She storms out. Look, I'm doing well at cards. I hardly ever do well. I married her because she was so much fun, but now she drives me fucking crazy.
What time did she leave the party?
About 8:30, maybe a little earlier.
When was the last time you saw your wife?
Around 8:30. The card game at Bobby's was wrapping up. I played out my hand and drove home here. I paid the sitter and went to bed.
Nope, you didn't.
You're lying, Lars. You didn't come straight home, did you?
And how do you figure that?
You can use either the muddy boots or the wet jacket.
You were out in the rain. You got soaked, Lars. We found your wet weather gear.
Okay, I stayed a little later than I said. This cute little brunette was hitting on me. Teresa noticed. I was half cut. I walked her home from Bobby's, but nothing happened. I walked back and got the car this morning.
Thanks for answering our questions, Mr. Tarleton. You'll need to go downtown to identify your wife's body.
I should have taken her dancing.
In my experience, Mac, if you give in to broads, you'll be giving in to them your entire life. Sounds like the Tarleton broad had her last drink at Barron's Bar. We should check the place out.
Appreciate your time, sir.
You believe this guy's story?
Kind of rings true.
He's a waste in the police force. Good-looking boy like that should go into politics.
Off to Barron's Bar we go. And maybe, if we are really, really lucky, maybe if we're lucky, we won't get another street crime right now. Crap. What, Mary?
She wants a 5-star.
Jen?
6 of them? Good
Drink?
grief.
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD.
I'm Benny Clough. This about Teresa Tarleton?
Yes, it is.
I heard about it on the radio. They're saying it was that Black Dahlia freak again? God damn it. Yeah, I rang that husband of hers. The babysitter said he was out.
If you don't mind, we have a few questions. What time did Teresa leave?
Around 10:30, I think.
That's the truth.
On foot? In a car? By bus? How was it?
She called for a cab.
Did you get the number?
Sure I did. I like Teresa. The only time she has a drink is when things aren't going so good at home. I was worried about her.
Put out an APB on the cab. 3591. Should be traceable. Any idea where she was headed?
Nope. I didn't get that.
The husband said she wanted to go dancing.
Yeah, she always wants to dance when she's been drinking. She was trying to talk some guys into taking her to one of the dance halls.
Who was she with? We've had reports about a tall, gaunt-looking hobo. He wasn't here last night?
I get plenty of bums in here, but nothing to fit that description.
The likelihood is that whoever she left here with killed her. Give it up, Benny.
All right, 2 creeps were all over her, promising to take her dancing.
You get a good look at these guys?
Sure. I got a good look. One of them was a sailor in uniform. His cap said, USS Indiana.
And the other man?
The other guy is Richard Bates. He's sitting in the back right now. Red polo shirt.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Clough. We'll take it from here.
Hey, no problem.
This is Bates.
That's him.
LAPD, don't make me chase you, shitbird.
And he's gonna make you
Can't let
chase
the
him.
son of a bitch get away.
Bates! Just want to talk.
Come on, got a ride. Get in and drive. I thought you were gonna leave me there.
Who knows what this guy will pull when he's cornered? We could have a killer on our hands. I don't think the killer would be kicking back in the bar where he meant to Vic in.
Listen, a creature of habit is your killer. For some reason, they're sticklers for routine. He's showing you how it's done. Don't go to sleep on me. Get me back in close. Hit it. Clean this asshole off the road. I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck.
Good job, Russ.
Hit him, Cole. Spin him out.
All right, you got me. I've had enough.
Put your hands where I can see them. Okay, Bates. You're gonna answer some questions.
I have a choice in this.
Last night, you went drinking with a lady in the bar. Now she's dead. And your face is all messed up.
I'm in the clear on that. She preferred a sailor. You could lay it off on him. Are we finished?
Do you want my partner to sap you? Tell us what we want to know.
She was okay. Drunk. Pissed off at her old man, wanting to go dancing. I thought I'd ply her with a few drinks and get my end away. Looks like your salty had the same idea.
So what happened when you left the bar?
Sailor boy laid one on me. A cheap shot. After that, I don't know.
He does know.
You've done time, haven't you, Richard? Is that why you ran?
I'm on parole.
On what offense?
Sexual assault. Look, I was lying there on the sidewalk. He flags a cab and jumps in with the broad.
We're taking you in, Bates.
How come?
Just for a chat. Nice private chat. I'll explain my theory of once a degenerate, always a degenerate.
Take him to Central. He's a material witness in a murder case. Find him a cozy cell.
Richard here knows the drill.
Also, just a quick note for anyone watching who isn't familiar with it. Yes, this was before Miranda rights, and it was all. And even if it wasn't, the thing about Miranda rights is they only have to read them to you if they're going to question you. Now, these days, if they arrest you, they read you your Miranda rights right off the bat anyway, just out of habit. But in reality, if they're, you know, like if they catch you out drunk, they'll throw you in the drunk tank. They're not going to question you. They don't have to read them to you, as long as they're not questioning you.
Phelps, 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an APB out on a yellow cab, number 3591. Ask dispatch to relay all sightings to car 11K.
No problem. I'll get on the radio.
Were there any incident reports filed in the vicinity of Barron's Bar on North Beaudry Avenue? We're tracking a sailor who was involved in a fight outside the bar.
I can check the reports, Detective. I have a message for you from Captain Donnelly. Message reads, James Jessup, U.S. Navy able seaman, has information relevant to your case. Jessup is currently being detained at Central Station.
Could be our man. Thanks for your help.
But before I do, just for I used to know the answer to that. I don't remember it off the top of my head. Come on, Rusty.
These people!
Car 11K, we have a response on your APB regarding yellow cab number 3591. The vehicle has been identified at a gas station. Now heading west on 7th Street.
Garage on 7th Street. Let's hit it, Phelps. The cab driver might tie this whole thing together.
I hope you're right.
Right. I kind of thought it was something like that. Well, they would definitely get his fingerprints off my car. I really need...
You see our taxi anywhere?
11K, yellow cab number 3591, sighted at the corner of Wilshire and Whitmer. Repeat, Wilshire and Whitmer, 11K.
Where's that cab got to now?
Yep.
11K, further on your APB on yellow cab number 3591. Vehicle identified at Reggie's Cafe, heading north on Whitmer. KGPL clear.
That's him there, Phelps. Hit the siren.
LAPD, we're investigating a murder.
What's that got to do with me?
The fare you picked up from Barron's bar last night. What was the woman wearing?
It's a green dress. Oh, don't tell me something's happened to her.
Tell me about her.
She was with this sailor, and he was all over her. She wasn't having any of it. Said she just wanted to dance. But he had that look in his eye.
Where did you drop them off?
It's at the Crystal Ballroom.
What time?
After midnight. 12:30? Something like that.
Thanks. You've been a big help.
Well, that's gone and ruined my day.
Oh, fine. Set his destination, then I'll set a new location as destination. Thank you. I think it is a... Damn it. I think it is a U.S. rank. But, you know, terminology changes. It has been... It has been more than 70 years since 1947, you know.
Cole!
Unfortunately, I don't want to take the time to look it up right now, but I bet you it probably is like an old term for a proper U.S. Navy rank. Why do I have the feeling I'm going to have to drive down the stairs again? Or maybe not.
See him? I saw his picture.
He's in interview 2.
Thanks. What do you make of him?
Sailor on furlough who looks like he's in trouble and knows it.
And of course he's in 2.
Detectives Phelps and Galloway. We know why you're here, Jessup, so it would be best if you answered our questions truthfully.
I don't want any trouble. That's why I'm here. I heard on the radio about this lady getting killed. I got leave from my CO to come down straight away.
So why did you kill her?
I didn't kill anyone. Look, you need to believe me.
Let's start at the beginning. You went to Barron's Bar. What time did you arrive?
I got a 24-hour pass. I got there around 7.
That's where you met Teresa Terrelson?
Sure. We had a couple of drinks.
And you doubt that.
So you tried to make a woman who was incredibly drunk?
Look, I'm not proud of myself, but I never hurt her.
You took her dancing?
That's right. Caught a cab to the Crystal Ballroom.
Where did you go after the Crystal Ballroom?
I think the wind had gone out of her sails by then. She caught a cab and I caught a bus back to the base.
That might be the answer. Remember, Team Bondi was an Australian team. The people who, the developers of this game, I mean.
We spoke to the cab driver. Tell us what really happened at the Crystal Ballroom.
I'd had enough. She was all upset about her husband bawling about her kids. She looked old. Left around closing, maybe 1:30. Got on a bus and she fell asleep on my shoulder.
Which bus?
An All-American, 249. I went past her place. She jumped off and I stayed on it downtown. After that, I caught another bus to San Pedro. The Indiana's down there. She's being scrapped.
And that was the last you saw of Teresa?
Yeah, that's right. We didn't say much. I think she was kind of embarrassed.
You had a fist fight with Richard Bates over Mrs. Terrelson.
You met the guy? He's a creep. You should take a look at him for this.
He's pointing the finger directly at you, Jessup.
I only had one night before I was back in the tub. He had all the time in the world to look for some action. I belted him. I'd do it again. She was better off with me.
Sure. You're a shining example of chivalry, Jessup.
Compared to that guy, he may be.
The cab driver said that you were getting pretty familiar with Teresa.
That's not how I'd put it.
So the last thing you wanted was her playing hard to get. Did that make you mad, sailor?
Yeah, it did. She knew what a guy's looking for. All broads do. Dancing comes second.
And what happened at the Crystal Ballroom?
Nothing. Not even a little hand relief. She had another couple of drinks. There was no fun left in her. Just poured her guts out to some bartender.
We're holding you till we can clear this with the driver.
Yeah, my CO said as much.
Can you put the guy in 2 in a cell and inform the commander?
Sure, Detective. Got a message for you. Sighting of your disfigured hobo on Grand between Temple and Sunset. And it looks like the Beau has a record, too. He's wanted in connection with 2 female assaults.
Thanks.
What now? Drive all the way to San Pedro and check his locker?
Let's see if the bus story checks out.
There's a depot at 1660 Beverly Boulevard.
And that is where we are headed next, is the bus depot.
3 suspects in the can and 1 on the hoof. And still no hard evidence on any of them.
KGPL to car 11K. 11K, come in.
11K, go ahead.
Patrolman reporting that Bobby Ross's car game is breaking up at midnight.
11K, roger that. Plenty of time to get downtown, Cole.
It's possible. Have them bring him in.
KGPL, we have Lars Carrollson picked up.
11K, roger.
Threaded that needle pretty well. Lost a little paint, but I'm surprised.
And thank you, ma'am. You have a safe trip now. Where are you boys headed today?
LAPD. We're after the driver of All-American 249. Would have been around midnight onwards last night.
Just a minute. Frank Zeffirelli. He's your man.
Where can we find him?
Frank is out on the 7-4.
Can you tell us the route?
Hang on. I should have it mapped out here somewhere.
I'll need to run the loop.
We're not going to drive the whole thing, are we?
Won't take long. We have a siren.
Oh. Fun little thing. How long has it been since you saw a cigarette vending machine? Other than maybe in, in an antique shop or someone who does restorations or something like that.
All-American 7-4, let's go.
Yeah, we'll go get them. Let's see which way we're facing. Because the best way to catch up to them is to drive counterclockwise. Okay, so we need to turn around. Why no, officer, I did not make a I know,
this
officer, I
could
did
be
not
a
make
long
U-turn.
trip.
I made 2 consecutive
Or it could be a
90-degree
short one.
lefts.
And here's me without my hip flask and only a pain in the ass for company.
Way to kick off the drive in high spirits, Rusty. Common.
Breathe, Phelps. Breathe, damn it. Touchy.
You know what your problem is? You don't like hard work. This kind of rigorous search is what police work is all about. Discipline.
Save it, Phelps. You're just as bored as I am. Nope, still no sign of him.
Did you doze off, Rusty? I think you slept through my solving the case.
Yeah, very funny. Just give me a nudge if you see him. That's the bus we're looking for. Ease in behind her and get her to the side of the road. That's the bus we're looking for. Ease in behind her and get her to the side of the road.
Yes, Rusty, thank you. We heard you the first time.
There's some kind of problem, buddy?
LAPD, we're investigating a murder. You had a sailor and a woman in a green dress on your bus late last night?
That's correct.
And the woman got off first, around 2 a.m.?
Yeah, that's right. And the sailor stayed on all the way to downtown.
Can you tell us where you let the woman off?
On California Street. To tell you the truth, she looked a little lost, like she got off on the wrong stop or something. I didn't like dropping her off near that hobo camp.
You've been a big help, Mr. Zeffirelli.
So Sailor Boy escaped by the seat of his bell-bottom trousers and left the broad alive.
Left her by the hobo camp.
Which means he's as good as killed her.
We can't eliminate any of them, but the disfigured man should be our starting point.
I'm gonna call for some backup. These bows hate cops.
I think we ought to investigate the hobo lead.
Well, if you think we ought to, I guess we ought.
I pretty much guarantee you I won't be getting a no damage on this one.
LAPD, we'd like a word with you.
Save it for someone who's interested. They're fascists. Come to move us on and steal what little we have left.
6 rounds won't get us far.
We need you to stay copacetic. We need to hold out to the cavalry.
How do we do that?
Like this. Down.
If you want
These
your
men know they're
rightful
harboring a
share,
murderer.
we need to fight for it!
Killing makes you feel powerful.
Oh, crap. Be right with you again. Apparently we're going to have to drive back to the hobo camp once the game finishes loading again. And then I'm going to have to go back into settings and fix my settings again. Because whenever it crashes like that, it sets them all back to the defaults. Options, display, graphics, way more than 1280. Okay, that last save was 5 minutes ago. Was a little over 4 minutes ago. I hope I don't have to go chasing the bus again.
So Sailor Boy escaped by the seat of his bell-bottom trousers. He left the broad alive.
Left her by the hobo camp.
Which means he's as good as killed her.
We can't eliminate any of them, but the disfigured man should be our starting point.
I'm gonna call for some backup. These bows hate cops.
I think we ought to investigate the hobo lead.
Well, if you think we ought to, I guess we ought.
Let's try this again, shall we? This time without the crash.
LAPD. We'd like a word with you. Save it for someone who's interested. They're fascists. Come to move us on and steal what little we have left.
6 rounds won't get us far.
I need you to stay focused 7. We need to hold out for the cavalry.
How do we do that?
Like this. Buckshot, keep you down.
You want your rightful share? We need to fight for it!
Are you drunk, Mr. Or are you just trapped? You're doing them a favor, partner.
What's your name?
Comrade Stalin.
Very funny. We'll find out from your personal effects.
Stuart Ackerman.
You're under suspicion for murder, Ackerman. We're taking you downtown.
You can't do anything more to me than what the Japanese have already done.
The Kremlin's over here, Phelps. Toss it and see what you find.
And the next newspaper, by the way.
Still working, Jack. I'm off to the Lighthouse Club in Santa Monica.
Hello, Jack. Mr. Benson, this is Courtney Sheldon. He's a buddy of mine from the war.
Well, I'm sure you two will want to polish some old war stories. Good evening, Jack. Mr. Sheldon.
Good night, sir. Take a seat, Courtney. We need your help, Jack. I told you I would have nothing to do with that.
I'm fine too, Jack. Medical school's going well. I got a part-time job.
Do dope peddlers need part-time jobs?
We made a mistake and we're in trouble, Jack. A local gangster, Mickey Cohen, is putting on the squeeze.
So hand it over, walk away. What's stopping you?
We had a deal with them that they would dole it out slowly. They said they would supply abortion clinics and doctors, but they've been moving it on to addicts, and they can't cope with the purity.
So your problem is with gangsters being dishonest.
My problem is that people are dying, and that if this gets back to us, we'll all end up in jail.
So how am I supposed to help, Courtney? This isn't the war. I can't just wave a magic wand and clean up your mess.
We want you to negotiate, Jack.
The only thing these guys understand is force, Sheldon. They got to the top back east by proving to be more vicious than the English, the Irish, and the Dutch. They make their own laws. That's the nature of a secret society. God's sake, Courtney, you want to be a doctor. How can you fight with that?
We are better trained, Jack.
I didn't make it through the war to come back to this kind of shit, Sheldon.
Not sure this means much.
May not mean much, but that was the guy in the war.
Ackerman doesn't look like much of a dancer. Looks familiar. Safe bet it'll match the mark under Teresa Terrelson's chin.
Okay, I think from here... Yeah. Come on, get in the car, Finbar.
The husband has an alibi, but no real motive other than neglect. Jessup's alibi checks out. Bates is a recidivist. He'll be pulling the same stick until we put him away for good. Ackerman has history, opportunity, hard evidence. What motive?
We have the evidence. We know she was here. All we need is a confession, and we can charge the bum with murder.
Braking right in the middle of it. Wait a minute. Where did I make that wrong turn? More like I just missed my turn. Never mind. I thought I had turned in the wrong place somewhere.
We're going this way.
Are we now? And yes, we are, actually.
Ackerman, you were in the Marines.
How do you know?
The Corps selected big guys for flamethrower duty. That's how you got the burns.
Life expectancy was 5 minutes for a guy in flamethrower detail. What kind of a government puts weight like that on a man's shoulders?
You'll get no argument from me. It was a heavy load.
You feeling sorry for this smelly fuck?
Why did you kill Mrs. Terrellson?
I have no recollection of the people I have killed.
Are you denying that you strangled Mrs. Terrellson with a length of rope?
I'm not denying anything. You have to have proof, lackey.
We found a matching piece of rope in your lean-to. I think we'll find the blood will match too.
I own no property. How could it belong to me?
A bus driver dropped Mrs. Terrellson near your camp around 2 a.m. Why did you take her up to the hill?
Which hill? I have many places. I go where I please.
You are clearly insane, Ackerman. The state of California does not execute mental patients.
I don't know the names of the women I've killed, but I've killed many of them. Their necks are so fragile.
Where were you around 2 a.m. last night?
At the camp.
You were up on the hill. You were seen during the day. We have a witness. We have evidence. Come clean with me, Ackerman, and I'll see what I can do for you.
I despise your pity. You have nothing that links me to this woman.
We have her purse that was found in your lean-to.
We have you cold, Ackerman. Her purse and the ballroom ticket were in your lean-to. Tell us why you did it.
I kill because people need killing. It's what I was trained to do.
Stuart Ackerman, I am charging you with the murder of Teresa Terrellson.
He really doesn't look that burned to me.
A man down on his luck I can abide. But a filthy red who chooses to live outside the rules of society, I cannot stomach. Maybe poor Threes of Tarleton will provide the catalyst we need. I've spoken to the chief and the mayor, and I think it's time we send some men in to remove the godless and send them on their way over the county line. A grand day that will be, gentlemen. And a grand result you have brought me. You two are fast becoming my finest crusaders.
Oh, only $535 worth of damage this time. An early visit to the hobo camp might have offered a lead, but good luck finding a coherent witness. Clues found all 17. Questions correct all 17. 5 stars. And as a teaser, I'll let it play the start of the next scenario. Oh, and there's also this cutscene. Apparently he's becoming a regular at this club.
And now my heart's a blazing ruin. You say that you were only fooling. Don't walk away. Don't do me wrong. Don't leave me singing this torched song when I'm burning.
I'll probably end up muting it, yes. I'm going to wait for YouTube to process the video and read their report.
Of course we will look into it. Yes, I'm aware that it's an election year. Keep a hold of your head, Counselor. Now is not the time to lose your nerve. It would appear that someone has hucked a rose gold wedding ring and matching engagement ring. Sound familiar?
Deirdre Muller.
Press the pawnbroker and see what you can find out. The address is 348 South Main Street. The Muller case goes before the grand jury next week, and the DA does not want any egg on his face. Then get out to the railroad depot on Santa Fe Avenue. We have another poor unfortunate found this morning beside a railroad line. 40-year-old white woman.
Right, Skipper.
Okay. And there you go. That is the start of the next case, which I think that's true, Dyruger. That's true. Okay. So we'll move on to the studio secretary murder in the next stream. That is the next to last case on the murder desk. Then you get moved on to advice. And you get to work with the representative to the stars, that a-hole that stopped you from arresting that guy in one of the earlier cases. Anyway, I'm going to call it here because there's no way I can finish this case before the 4-hour mark. So I want to thank you all for coming. I appreciate all the support. Another reminder for anyone new to the channel, if you like what you see and you want to support what I do, don't forget to like and subscribe. And have a great rest of your day. See you for the next one.